Welcome to our next Jurassic difficulty sandbox. This is going to be called Operation Regenesis because it's going to be based upon the classic Jurassic Park Operation Genesis Park Builder game. That really is probably responsible for Jurassic World Evolution existing at all, due to the incredible nostalgia a lot of people have for that game, me included. So we're going to use kind of Operation Genesis as like a design style guide for us, basically. And then we're going to use the dig sites from Operation Genesis as a randomizer to determine which species we end up bringing into the park. To start with, it's going to be Cerato and Dilo, so we'll pick between those two at random and unlock the corresponding dig site. But then in the future, we'll roll random dig sites. Maybe we'll have to like rule out the ones that maybe have no dinosaurs we can get right away, and we'll do a new dig site added to our roster basically at every star rating. So we'll have 5 dig sites in the end. We'll also rule out the ones that have overlapping species. So if we roll one of the 2 Packy or Brocky dig sites, we'll exclude the other one entirely. That way we can have 15 dinosaurs in the end. We're going to build a 93. Nublar, I was originally thinking Nublar 2015, but 2015 always starts with the monorail, which is gross, and I don't want it. Jurassic Park aesthetic for sure. Buildings, guests, color grading. We're doing default weather. We're doing high disease. Everything else is your standard stuff. And then we get down to sabotage risk. That's harder. Cash low. Appeal difficulty is Jurassic. I don't know why that went to easy. Did that reset? I almost wonder if that reset. Because we did have that weird issue with like cache on the last map. I wonder if that toggle. We've had UI issues before where the UI doesn't actually represent what's the setting is. Huh. I mean, I probably just messed it up, but I am suspicious now. Okay, well, yeah, Jurassic difficulty, of course, although it's not even really Jurassic difficulty. If you don't have income tax, I need income tax, desperately. But we'll keep doing some park builds, at least in the meantime. We can always revisit some of these builds, redo them with income tax as a more difficult scenario. I've mostly been focusing on some of the park ideas I have that are more aesthetic orientated rather than challenge orientated because I don't want to burn through some of the good challenge options while we're stuck dealing with a lack of income tax. Yeah, so my original hope was 2015 because 2015 is pretty round. And 93 Nublar and Sorna are not. But unfortunately, yeah, the monorail kind of ruins the aesthetic in 2015, so I'll have to deal with this weird shaped area instead, and do the best we can with a Operation Genesis aesthetic. So, we don't start with the landing pad this time, in this mode, that's fine. In a JPOG run, I would usually start in a nice central area and build out around it. So why don't we drop our landing pad kind of right around this this section of forest right here, I think. And also, we might want to go ahead and pre-flatten the environment a little bit, maybe. Well, we've got a pretty good flat section here. Okay, so we can accommodate with that, basically, by doing something like this. Getting rid of a little bit of this hillside here. We're not going to smooth it to save money in the early game. But then, yeah, let's get the arrival point. Let's consider what kind of grid we want to snap to here, because potentially we'll need to use some of these other areas if we can't do the main section only. I think this starting alignment looks pretty good with the borders. Trying to keep things kind of square for that JPOG aesthetic. So let's just go ahead and drop you maybe right about, I think right about there. Just right in the trees. Okay, so let's get the usual start and junk. We need to get out our control center. Wait, what's the difference between, I forget how the control center is different than the visitor center in this mode. I forgot. Well, we definitely put out a visitor center, right? How do we want to set this up? See, I didn't do any like aesthetic planning on this mode of how we want it to look. I have an idea. Let's do something like this. Straight path out like this. We'll put the visitor center up here. Kind of straight in line. That looks like it's going to clip the corner of the entryway, which is what I wanted to avoid. Let's do this. We'll put it on this side. That way there's definitely no issues with it getting in the way of, or with the entryway getting in the way of the path. So that can go there. Why does that link up so weirdly? Why are you gonna be like this? Yeah, why is that curving? Well, because I have curve paths on, ultimately. But it's still weird to me that the path wouldn't go straight just because the curve is enabled. Alright, we'll do something like that. Although, actually, now that I think about it, it would look aesthetically better if we put paths in that head past the building here to kind of match. And then we do this, links up again over here. Yeah, same as it does on that other side. Okay, so there's that. Hello. We'll put this in right here. We'll need a backup generator so we can get research and stuff going. We can put this maybe back over here out of the way for now. We just need to make sure we build around that appropriately. It's going to be a little bit of an issue, maybe. Let's put it over here, just right behind the visitor center. That'll work. We'll need Expedition Center. If I remember correctly, we don't start with any genome data, right? I always kind of forget how that works in this mode with these settings, but I think that's true. We've only done, what, 3 park builds with these Jurassic sandbox settings? I think that's true. That linkage point's a little weird, but that's fine. Spots facility can wait. Paleomedical staff, those need to be unlocked. Okay, so the control center and visitor center are just options. That's one of the two. Great. I think that's the only mode that has a situation like that, where there's 2 variations of the control center. The only era, I guess you'd say. Alright. So, on the expedition map, we start with Nasuto, Dilo, Cerato, Struthi. The same stuff as always, of course. Amarg. Cerato, yep. So Cerato and Dilo are indeed the only options viable for this JPOG style build mode. So I'm just gonna roll the die. We got a real little D10 here. 1 through 5 is gonna be the Cerato dig site, and then the other 5 are gonna be the Dilo dig site. We're starting with Cerato. So that is gonna be Ceratosaurus is gonna be the Morrison Formation A. So that's our first dig site. That means we get Ceratosaurus, Drysaurus, and Stegosaurus in our roster. Stego is going to be a little while. Dryo should be fairly early, though. We need scientists. So, we have 2 available to start with. Really? Yeah, just 2 from the visitor center. Is that different on other modes? I thought you started with 4. Maybe it's 4 after the first staff center, and I'm forgetting. So in the last park build we did, we had all the specialists, which were incredible. We did the upgrades to make the specialists just absolutely exceptional. But we're not being given any options here for starting with them. So that sucks. We need 5 logistics. Actually, how much is Cerato to dig up? We need to cover that. 2. 5. Yeah, so 5 logistics for Ceratosaurus. 5, I think all the standard early game research we want to do is 5, if I remember. So we'll need our infrastructure stuff. 5 for upgrades. Yeah, we can't see the requirement on these on the medical facility until the population is met, but I think it was a 5. And then we'll need the requirements for synthing and producing Ceratosaurus right away as well. Let's worry about just the logistics for now, I guess. So we're going to have to rely on these generalists early, which is okay. 322 is nice. 4 genetics on that one. Yeah, I wouldn't hate like a motivated guy or something, but a 1-2-1 starting spread here is kind of bad. It's like dead weight. We could pick up 2-3 logistics guys and just have 6 right away. Although you're rather expensive. You're pretty good. Cheap. Cheap is what I'm looking for on this first stage. 322. Yeah, definitely want him. Alright, let's grab you. Let's get you digging up Cerato right away. From Europe. Well, if he does that, we can get our first enclosure set up here, at least. I think we'll skew to this side. I want to put in paths around the entry point. I don't want the entry point stuck in a corner by itself. So let's get that started too. That way we don't block ourselves in. So that goes something like that. And then we can go ahead and grab the hatchery and put the hatchery in right here. Wherever it wants to fit. Actually, can we fit that path in there? Well, I guess it doesn't matter. We could extend the fence out further. We can fit the path in there, but is the fence going to block it? Yeah, almost assuredly. Okay. I mean, that's fine. That doesn't matter that much. We can extend the path out, and we can have visibility off of this branch here. We just straight up delete this branch. So we're going to build the park layout kind of in straight fence sections. Problem is then there's this little gap here. So we're going to have to simulate the straight fence sections for the part where the hatchery actually connects to the fence. Because the JPOG hatcheries are inside the enclosures. So why don't we just go ahead and do... we do 2 deep, 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 sections like that. Yeah, why don't we just try this for a starting enclosure? We need to get the park profitable before we really worry too much about the particulars of layout. But yeah, so that'll be 4 sections by 2 sections on all sides. And the gallery we can just put here, kind of next to this. Let's make sure we don't run into some height issues. Then we'll expand as need be to accommodate Cerato, but that should be big enough for a few. Let's do this. Make sure we get that in connected straight there. Expedition in progress. We'll shutter all this stuff down as soon as it's built to save on power. While we wait for fossils to come in, we can go on fast mode here. Okay, now we wait for Cerrado. We can do a little bit of design work here. Nothing too crazy, but get some water in there at least somewhere. Alright. We need 3 genetics. That's got to be our other person so that we can get this producing. 4 genetics, $4,000 though to recruit sucks. Plus this cost is going to be equivalently higher too. 2 genetics, but then we have to do 2. No, this guy's going to be relevant enough with 4 that he's worth picking up, even though he's going to break the bank. Oh, and can we pick up a contract right away? Send out expeditions. What is the difference? Too bad we didn't do that right before this dig came back. Anyway, give me this shrimp money. We're going shrimping. 87%. That is good enough to clone. We need to get this guy out ASAP too to make sure we don't go bankrupt because we just spent $471,000 hiring a scientist. And I imagine the European dig site, yeah, the European dig site is closed. So we need 5 logistics to finish up the Cerrado genome, so we're going to have to wait on that. We could do some research, maybe. It's probably worth getting the staff center done right now.
Hey, my name is Isaac Clement, and it's great to finally meet you. I hope you're ready, because the dinosaurs
Yeah,
can't
we
wait
can't
to meet you
see the requirement until we have genome data.
Opportunity is at the door.
We do need to get this
Can you hear it
expedition
knocking?
done, though, too.
I can.
Just for the money. We'll get the staff center first, because it'll be done here in 30 seconds anyway. We already started it, but we will go out and do some sort of dig for something. As long as the cost is low enough, it'll be enough to bring in a profit, because this is 225. 40K for Struthy Dig. Dinosaur Park A also might be a location where we'll have a dinosaur later, because a lot of Cretaceous dinosaurs do come from these North American dig sites for JPOG. So pulling some Struthy fossils out of here now, so that later there's a little bit less junk to get out of the way, is probably okay. Yeah, we're still waiting for the synth there. Do I want to put in the staff center? I think we should, because we can always just shut it down so it doesn't draw power. There's a Cerrado. Can we look at it without turning it on? 5 genetics. I think we have 5, actually. Right? Because the one guy's a 2, and the other guy's a 4. No, the guy's a 4. We have 6, actually. Great. So we don't actually need the staff center to get the Cerrado synth. That's pretty important. 20 minutes on power. Let's shutter this right away. So don't actually need it directly. And then we gotta wait for this dig site to come in. We don't need to process the fossils though. So there's that. That's the expedition money. Let's go ahead and make sure we sell off this junk. Let's get this turned back on, and let's get that Cerrado, the first batch of Cerrados on the way. We could have put some modifications in here. I don't think it's worth it. Oh, the pattern color, though. We don't start with Rana. Why do we not have Rana? What? Why in the world would you not start with Rana on this map? That's really annoying. Let's look at the research. Where is Rana trapped? Yeah, why is Rana buried all the way here under 9 genetics? Okay. So the initial Ceratos are not going to be the right pattern, but they're not complete genome anyway, I guess. So it doesn't really matter. We'll get out Ceratos. We do want the Rana pattern, because that's the movie Cerato and by extension the JPOG Cerato. So we're stuck with only lethal baits. Death Valley's the right skin color. Yeah, I don't see any reason to modify these then. We're not going to put any lifespan into them because they're going to get replaced as soon as we get access to Rana, which is a high priority. Alright. Get them synthed.
That's another objective down. You're really making a name for yourself.
We just request a new contract right away, huh?
I'm confident you're going to want to check out this latest objective. I'm sending the details now.
This is an interesting choice. Employment drive is a nice refund for a scientist. We're probably gonna need them. We might only have 4 welfare. We might actually need a scientist right now. Oh, 5? Are you shitting me? I assumed it was 1. That's awful.
Hire the people we need to
That's
keep
awful.
things running smoothly.
Oh no. Alright. Well, that was bad. 5 scientists. Are you kidding? Goddamn. 2 Ceratos. We do, in fact, need an insane amount of money that we can't swing, and we need 5 welfare no matter what. Are we gonna go broke? Cerato is kinda shite for starting out here. Let's think. You should be shuttered. Alright, so 1 Cerato, we need 4 welfare. We need any scientist with at least 1 point of welfare. We need the cheapest that we can do. Unfortunately, he's got 0. Damn it. 94, 212, altruistic salary. Actually pretty good. So, that contract really boned us. Bring you in. Like, that contract is awful. 5 is just completely undoable. Right. Well, we could consider firing a scientist after this is synth. It's probably not worth it. I wonder what happens if we sell the visitors or the staff center. If we scrap out the staff center, do we lose the scientist automatically from that because we don't have capacity? I don't know how that works actually. All right. Get you opened. Get our Cerato out. Live prey feeder, we just get. That's good. We do need to make sure the Cerato is not going to lose its damn mind. Can't see the statistics until he's out. Probably running around.
Hi.
Okay. Missing forest, open space, prey, water. This will all catch up in a second.
Deering. I'm extremely passionate.
Are we
about
profitable
dinosaurs
with 1
and about our
Cerato?
responsibility
Not
to take care of
yet.
them.
The park is open though. The gallery's shut off, of course, which is why that we don't have any visibility. Yes, deactivate, activate.
Now this dinosaur is something special. Well, they're all something special, but this one stands out because of the horns on top of its head. It's called Ceratosaurus. It kind of looks like a slightly smaller T-Rex, but its bite is probably about the same.
I need money to start coming in, please. Okay, guests are registering there. Profit's ticking up. Let's go on fast forward mode here. We're just going to kind of have to sit. Contracts have refreshed. Guest comfort, amenity coverage. Amenity coverage is probably free, but so is comfort. Restroom, excellent. Perfect one. Restroom's the cheapest. That's going to save our finances. Unless we have to research it. Hold on. No, the restroom's that one. We'll just put it right here for now. We can adjust the position in the future if we deem it necessary.
My name is George Lambert. Now, you'd think that dealing with prehistoric animals would be a problem. And you'd be right.
And we're
As you
profitable.
probably
Okay,
discovered.
we're in the
But it's
clear.
the unpredictability that really keeps us on our
More or
toes.
less.
Sure, the scientists can bring dinosaurs back, but fences keep them in.
24 minutes.
Without them, the fences, I mean, none of this is possible.
Maintain restroom coverage. Yes.
I want our stance to be proactive, not reactive. That means staying on top of these objectives. I've sent you details on the latest.
So, when this comes in,
There's an
there you
odd
go. Let's get you rested. I think this trio should last us for quite a while in the early game. So the last thing we really need to make sure we don't die is the medical facility. So we should probably get the medical facility going straight away. Then we need the response facility and the medical facility put in. So, turn you back on. Let's get the medical research done. It's got to be the two of you, unfortunately, but that's okay.
getting other people to get things done. Some call that leadership. You have the quality.
Let's get a gate in here. And let's figure out where we're going to put our vehicles to. Probably just put them over here for now. They can run off the backup generator. 15 minutes until that's empty. We could go for power first. If we don't have any issue with the Cerato, if he doesn't get sick or anything, we could sneak the power in safely before we need to build a medical facility, which would be decent. What's the power requirement? $5, 200K. Profit's pretty good. Let's at least research it right now. We're investing half of our money into it, but we can still build the other requirements. Oh, we can't. Well, this guy is resting. Yes. That's fine. Shutter you, since you're not doing research. Buys us, yeah, another 5 minutes on the generator by shutting that down, which is pretty good. So far, we got a pretty good little JPOG aesthetic going here for the most part. Pretty tight, you know, building structures. Everything's squared off with each other. Scientist recovery's done. Activate you. Power research. 3 and a 2. Still leaves us a 300K. The response facility is 100. The medical's 250. The Cerato, and make sure he stays in view more or less. Yeah, visibility is really good on the enclosure. We could also put in some more amenities. That's very true. Yeah, 25,000. I mean, we could wait for our contract But it also might be worth it just from a finances point of view to get this started. Let's put in the first one at least. Yeah, green and white. So just donuts. Fossil display. 66, 63. We want profit, but it's the same no matter what. It's negative. So I guess we just do that. Profit $100 is not really worth it. We're actually on capacity for paths. That's the issue more than anything. Okay. That's highly relevant information to check. That's the kind of thing in the early game that can make a big difference to your park's success. If you get capped by the paths, everything you're putting into the park doesn't matter. Because you're stuck with that being the problem. None of your infrastructure matters if there's not enough capacity in the park for people to enjoy it. Is that the best we can do? Yeah, the hitbox is a little wide on that guy. Alright, so we got some stuff going back over here. Let's put in a section, a path around the back as well, like this. Alright, now our capacity should improve. That doesn't look like much of an improvement. I'm actually pretty sure that hasn't changed yet. We'll let it run for a moment here and see if things adjust. How are we doing? No, it is improved, because this is... No, yes? Yeah, this must be... Was this where we started, or was this whole section? This is so hard to read because there's no labels. This thing needs an x-axis and a y-axis label, rather than just arbitrary graph space. But okay. It may also very much just be the case that it does need to update itself. Alright, there's power. 9 minutes. Small power, 250 thou. Yeah, that's a lot of money. We have 9 minutes. We can also shutter this. If this rating would go up, it might be an issue as well in that the paths are just not used. We can try and just do some paths around the back as well. That way there's paths that are actually like right where all the action is kind of here. Something like this, so then like we sneak a path through here. Try that. How is this worse? What? Unless the shelter affects that for some reason? I don't think it would. How in the world did the pathing get worse? Now it's being insane. Okay, it had to like update. Definitely now we've got a good increase here in capacity finally. So the path that we put in there mattered way more than the other pathing we put in around the park that's not used by the guests. We hit a half star. So that's good. Probably that blockage there, yeah. See, this difference here was down to the shelter. Now we're getting up to our capacity again because we have the shelter in. Without the accommodation rating, we probably won't hit the white line. So probably this is a good enough spot to wait. 10 minutes till this is empty. Okay, let's get a contract here. That's perfect.
I'm Dr. Kajal Dua. And
Tickets,
while you're keeping
profits,
an eye on dinosaurs, I'll be
fights.
keeping an eye on you.
Definitely can't do fights. Ticket
I
sales
want
is
us
also
to
really
keep
hard to
our focus
control.
on
Let's do
getting these
profitable.
objectives
90,000 per minute. We're almost there. Actually, the shop might have a higher profit now because it's going to have more people go into it, potentially. Yeah, we can squeeze out some more profit here. 52.74 with one of these guys. 57.24 if we put in one of these.
accomplished. Read up on this latest one.
Alright, let's go ahead and get the power in. I want to smooth this, or flatten out this section here. Probably just put it in like right here. Yeah, so we'll need a power pylon. Power has to go up this way. Obstructs. All of that almost completely obstructs. Can we sneak this in here at an angle like this? Wow, no. Okay. We can probably get this to work with the way it's set up if we just squeeze it as tight to the visitor center as we can. So we'll do that. It's a little weird having this power pylon right in front of that stairs there as you come down from the visitor center, but the things we gotta do to make the park work. So that goes there. I guess potentially we could try and play with getting the pylon in somewhere else. Doesn't look like it's gonna work too well though. I guess that's fine. I mean, this little side thing isn't like used by anybody. Also, wait, what is this? Aesthetically, look at the building design. We've got paths that come in on each side of the visitor center. You got the main stairs. This looks like it would be like a handicapped accessible ramp, except it ends in a few stairs. This should just be a ramp sloping down to ground level. What the fuck? John Hammond, that's not very accommodating of you. Okay, let's do... I think we extend off of this then. Kind of just head in this direction. So we can do this, and we can do this. And that should catch everything on that.
I'm more interested in
We can leave the
knowledge than
backup
the
generator
future
in,
comforts
put
that come
the
with wealth.
ranger stations
There is
nearby.
no denying that the park is a business, so we have to be aware of the bottom line.
89,000 out of 90. We could fire a scientist to finish that contract, which would be questionable. We can also just put another shop in, because now the shops are actually profitable. So that's the easy way to finish this contract. Yeah, green's going to be more important. Let's continue paths down. There somewhere, and you're not connected on a path because I didn't do that. Yes. Okay, no power draw on that. Plenty of power there. We can officially activate all of the buildings in the park and stop micromanaging power. That's a huge deal. Activate all that. So we're going to go a little long on the pilot episode here because I'd like to get the park properly started, as in not a weird Serato, and have a proper Rana Serato. So I think we'll go kind of till the setup is finished. Can this fit up here? Blocked by emergency bunker. Oh, is the bunker's on a slightly different elevation, I think. Weird. Yeah, it is. You can see it is. Gross. That's fine. The bunker won't stay there in the long term because we'll probably switch the shops for bigger ones, which will require that back row to get removed. So when that happens, it won't matter that there's a slightly different elevation towards the back, because there won't be anymore, because that'll be turned into shops anyway. Profitability dip by a bit. Oh, the power is probably costing us. We could maybe run off the backup generator and cheese this. Let's try it. Yeah, 86. Profits are going up. Profits are going up. And then we'll turn that back on.
More about the dinosaurs.
That's a neat trick. I'm glad I thought of that.
You played a crucial role in that revelation by completing these objectives. Your efforts have not gone unnoticed.
Okay, so now we got a little bit of money to play with. Let's make sure we get the rest of our support staff in here, the response facility and the medical facility. Would like to put the response facility in here, I think. Probably, maybe in like this. So there's that. Let's get the medical facility in too. And let's make sure we get a ranger post in here to watch the Serato. Oops. We need a hotel and we need a medical facility, but the medical facilities can be more important. You're very chunky, actually, still, so I can't put you in this section without messing it up. Could sneak it back here. I think I'll put it here for now. We can always move it if we decide it should be somewhere else. And it's still in the backup generator, which is the big thing. We could put another staff center here, which is the idea for building symmetrical like this. Yeah, we put in like power and other stuff over here. We can have a bigger, thicker section there. Alright, Ranger Team 1, you assigned to here. We don't assign the medical team where they'll cure the dino automatically, which is totally cheating. And then let's get the hotel in as well. I think we will put it in right here next to the fence for a little bit of extra visibility. Yeah, it was a little too close to the path itself. Unless I could put it here. No, it's too thick. Just too thick. Too many C's on that hotel. That's fine. Yeah, we'll do that. Right, the basic park is good to go. So the next big thing is to do the push for Rana. So, we do Rana, finish up Cerrado. We can put out some fresh Cerrados, which is what I'd like to do in the episode. Rana is locked behind 9 goddamn genetics requirement. We're at 7. So we need a last scientist with 2 genetics. We got another generalist. We got another generalist. 233 is not bad here. We could also try and pick somebody up with 2 genetics. That's going to be better in the long run. Cheaper expeditions. 242. We also are just about out of money, I notice. Which is also very much a thing. Expeditions get expensive. Clearly the specialist isn't going to be an option. The specialist around here isn't going to be an option. Unless we get a good month and we can fire everybody and reset, which is possible. The skill caps ain't bad either. 12,000 a minute. I mean, this guy's dirt cheap. 6,000 a minute. We can also hire him without breaking the bank right now. Maybe we do just do early game generalists and try that strategy out. The other question is, would I be willing to pay almost double for 2 points of welfare? And I'm thinking that's a no. So drought tolerance, right? Drought tolerance, desert skins, 200k. We could also go out and do a dig for Cerrado here. Because we might get some money back from that. So, path capacity is still going to be an issue when this hotel boots up. I'm not sure if putting in some paths in here will make any difference. Maybe we should pivot over to do path research and just go straight for better paths. What are our amenity ratings at? 87. Let's just do paths. Oh, we need 1 star for wide paths. Oh, grotesque. Absolutely disgusting. Okay, fine. We'll try and accommodate this by putting in some other path sections, which I feel like is not going to work, but maybe if we go through here. Oh, research available wide paths. Abort, 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 abort. We hit 1 star. Ah, we did it. Okay, paths. Path, 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 path. 4 out of 5 logistics. Staff busy. We gotta wait for the fossils to come back in. Yeah, so potential guest count. No, path capacity is up here now. Wait, did I... look at the wrong line? I must have looked at the wrong line. Or path capacity changed because we put in the hotel? You know what? It actually might have. The hotel... If path capacity actually is weighted by where guests are going, the hotel here has pulled people down this pathway where they weren't going before. So that actually might have worked just to redirect people. Okay, we got some fossils back on a refund. Not bad. And Cerato's done. We'll get the Struthi cleared out here because we might as well. Let's do the research first. Because we can extract fossils, I think while we do a different tier of the research. Because I'm pretty sure the genetics requirement on the skins is less. This one is just rude. So it takes more. But then yeah, we're going to have to do a little bit of saving to get the... Oh, and the frickin' hover-overs are glitched on this map too. Maybe it's all of the Chaos Theory maps in Sandbox bug out with these little... No, because the Camp Cretaceous Park build worked, and that was Sorna, right? Also, we just did a campaign map and not a Chaos Theory map. I'm a silly person all around. Alright, there's that. But yeah, 4 genetics here only. So we'll grab you two, you start this, you get rested. We still can't process fossils, but that's fine.
Dr. Ian Malcolm here.
Rating's a
Some refer
trap.
to me as
Sell with
resident
high
skeptic.
appeal is
I, however,
interesting.
prefer realist.
So is modify in a specific way. But if this requires us to
Ooh, I see
unlock
you
a
have a
genetic,
new
it's really
objective.
bad.
Give it a little read, won't you?
So selling a Cerato actually would be viable if we got the replacements up. But we don't know that this is going to be Cerato. We don't know the one we have is going to work. So this also might just be a massive trap. I think the only thing we can do is take to specification and roll the dice on it. We could also refresh, but I'm not sure it's worth the risk. I mean, maybe it is. It's only 45 thou. Improve profits, sell with high appeal, increase the number of guests in the park. Those ones kind of suck too. They're marginally better. It wasn't really necessarily worth the 45,000. But it might work out if we can get the Ceratos in here in 10 minutes. I mean, I guess even if we get them in later, it'll be fine. Oh, or it'll just complete because arbitrary reasons.
Knowledge gained.
Sure.
Preconceptions.
Good. Great contract
challenged,
then. We
or
actually have enough money
perhaps,
now to actually push some Ceratos out. Rana's another 4 logistics. Let's get that unlocked.
We've just figured out a more efficient distribution for popcorn.
Okay.
Who can say?
And again, these are glitched. 30 seconds on the rest, and then we can do the fossil extract, and that'll happen while pattern genes are finishing. Then we can get our real Ceratos out to end the episode. And that is my goal properly. Now, we can also talk about Dryosaurus. Dryo is right here, locked behind 25 dinosaurs. So, we're not getting Dryos right now. Oh, we hit 1 star. We do need to roll our next dig site. Okay. So, we got Morrison A. Morrison A, Stego Dryo Cerato. That doesn't block any other existing dig sites. So, we have 8 remaining dig sites. Starting from Judith River Group A, Judith River B, Hell Creek A, Hell Creek B, Morrison A, Morrison B, Tendaguru, Janini, and Flaming. So again, rolling the dice. Those are the order we're going, 1 through 8. Re-roll on a 9 or a 10 because it's a 10-sided dice. Got a 3, that's Hell Creek A. So our second dig site is Hell Creek A. Hell Creek A is going to be Acro, Para, and Toro. So let's see when we get access to them. We already have Para. So Para is the next dinosaur we put in the park, probably then. Start a Para enclosure. We get enough Paras in with the Ceratos, and we might be able to bring in the Dryos. And then Toro. Acro's going to be locked for quite a while. Acro's pretty far back on this tree. But we can get Torosaurus probably pretty quick. Yeah, Torosaurus is just 3 species. Okay, so Cerrado gets us... So Cerrado and Para, right? We get enough of them into the park to unlock Dryo, and then Dryo gets us Toro. So that's our first 4 species right there. So it works. We'll be pretty good here. So we just need to make sure we get, what was it, like 20 dinosaurs? So we're going to have like 5 Cerrados and like a massive para herd, but it'll work. And that's part of the challenge, is getting everything to come together the way we want it to. Oh, are these not... Did I not do the job? Whoops. Oh, I don't think I could, right? Because the only other person we had didn't have the genetics for it, and the other person was busy. They might have came back from resting, and it might have been okay. Alright, we'll cut here really shortly until we're ready to get these Cerrados out. We can get our canonical Cerrados here for our Regenesis Park. We'll do Rana Death Valley. We'll do Lifespan because we have it available. There's no reason to do Quenched, and that's the only other option. 7 genetics. 4, a 5, a 6, and a 7. We might need to save a little bit of money to hatch a pair of eggs if we get 2, but sure, it'll be fine. Yeah, I think we can exhaust that guy. He's only got the 1 welfare point anyway, so he shouldn't be needed to hatch. These will cook quickly. This is still being buggy, unfortunately. We had to put in another little power generator because we were actually pulling off of the backup generator for the hotel. So we fixed that. 3 eggs. That's good. 3 long-lived eggs is fantastic. 1,650,000 though. 7 welfare, which I think we have, yeah? No, not on 3. Shit. So we can only hatch 2. So those 2... Remember when I said I don't think I want to pay extra to have 3 welfare instead of 1? Oops. Kind of fucked that, huh? We could fire this guy and hire a new one. Conversely, we just don't have the money for it anyway. Yeah, for now, we'll rest you. We'll just take 2. I guess we shouldn't have rested, because we could have got them simping while we waited for him to come out. What does your territory requirements look like right now? Plenty of forest and open space. Water, less so. So you probably might need some water. But also this water is partially treed in, which actually affects the total. So just doing that should improve it a bit anyway. Yeah, 13%. Alright, there we go. Dangerously low amount of money. But we need to get those Cerrados out, so we'll take that risk. We can always sell this one too. Which we'll do. Because he doesn't look right. There's something wrong with this one. Looks muddy. It's so weird to me that's the starting skin combination you get. I wonder, is it different for every park build still, or is it randomized or something weird? Should figure that out at some point. Alright, there's our 2 real Ceratosaurs. Looking nice like usual. Let's, few park builds in a row using Cerrado as a starter, but since we can't randomize the starting dinos, there's really not anything we can do about that. Let's make sure they're going to be happy. So they figure out their territory here. Forest. Actually need more forest. Okay, Okay. I mean, we're going to clear out the other one, but we want to, you know, still get this sorted out correctly. Like, it's still nice to have the enclosure balanced around 3, even if we only have 2 initially, after we get rid of this one, because the territories do shift. Okay, well, we get a contract here. Photograph your dinosaurs. Build amenities. Amenities is free. That's a lot of money, but it might be a different species.
In this case,
Number.
that's you.
Number would be
Check
good,
out this latest objective.
but we can't afford more Ceratos yet. Provide. You get sold.
What I like about building construction.
Medium food amenity. Okay. I didn't expect it to go straight to medium. But we do need medium amenities, so we might as well get them done. 3 and a 2. And can we go dig up some para here to end the episode with our remaining 4? That is going to look like a no. Okay, well, we'll get the medium amenity to get the contract done as soon as possible.
Is that it requires planning and thought.
And then, yeah, we'll call that a episode. Extra long first episode, but we properly got Cerato in,
I think
so
that's what first attracted me to
that's
InGen.
good.